You know, there are a lot of sports fans who were shocked when legendary Patriots coach Bill Belichick did not get the necessary votes to become a first-ballot Hall of Famer. He recently addressed the SNUB on Sean Hannity's podcast.
Were you shocked?
Well, out of my control.
Everybody from Tom Brady to President Trump, all across the board, there was widespread shock at that. Did that make you feel good that so many people came out defending you?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's great to hear that support from so many people and from so many different fields, not just football, but many others. And so I was very appreciative of that support and the positive comments that they made.
OutKick founder Clay Travis joins us now. Straight at it, please, Clay. Do you think the SNUB vote was political?
Yes. I think that it was entirely based on things other than the on-the-field result, because if Bill Belichick's not a first-ballot Hall of Famer unanimous, then who is? I think it was partly political. He's been a big Trump supporter, and I think that has rubbed people wrong. I think there's a lot of people that don't like him and the way that he treated the media brusquely for so many years. And I do think maybe having a 24-year-old girlfriend, she may be 25 now to be fair, may have in some way, she's getting older, may have in some way helped to also mobilize people against him. I don't think Bill Belichick suffers fools lightly. And there are a lot of fools in the business that I'm involved in, sports media, and I think they saw it as an opportunity to get back at him. Also, they might say, well, this is about Deflategate and cheating the game. But ultimately, this guy is a first-ballot Hall of Famer, or there's no purpose in having the Hall of Fame at all.
Is he going to get on next time around?
I think so, because there was so much humiliation over leaving him out that I think that the voters are not going to make that error again. And so I would be stunned. I was already stunned, so I suppose it could happen again. But I would be stunned if he's not in the next time.
LIV Golf reportedly looking for a $250 million investment to keep the tour alive. Reportedly, they're sharing a new fundraising plan with stars Bryson DeChambeau, Jon Rahm later this week. Do you see LIV making a comeback? Is that realistic?
Well, I think the $250 million, as many of your viewers who are far smarter than me on this, the question is, what amount of equity are you getting for the $250 million? And to what extent is this a money-sucking venture going forward? How realistic is the idea that this $250 million is suddenly going to put them on the pathway to profitability? I also think that guys like Bryson DeChambeau are going to have real decisions to make, because maybe Bryson decides, hey, you know what? As part of my next deal, I'll stay with LIV, but I want an even more substantial equity stake in this venture, and he'll roll the dice that there may be something more substantial going forward. You know, they tried to build the teams and tried to create team value there. I'm not sure what those teams are worth, but you know this. $250 million is not that much money in the world of sports when you consider what things cost now. Heck, Shohei Ohtani got a $700 million baseball contract. $250 million for an equity stake in LIV, depending on how the math computes, doesn't seem like a crazy dollar figure to seek.
Looking back on it, can you pick out one single big contribution that LIV made to golf? Other than money?
Oh, that's such a good question. Yeah, I do think they forced the PGA to examine the way that they were running their business, and the players on the PGA Tour are now making more money. As a general rule, competition makes everybody better. I think competition with LIV forced the PGA to look inwardly at the monopoly they have created and say, could this business be better run for both the business side but also for the player side? And I think the PGA Tour is more efficient and a better business now than it was before LIV arrived.
Okay, I don't think LIV is going to come back in any major way. That's my opinion. Clay Travis, you're all right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon.
Appreciate you as always.
You got it, man.